Yeah, so basically you all kind of had your own little pet thing. So what did you fill out prior to this? Did they give you like a questionnaire? Because I would think that
Yeah.
I would want to know you from the inside out, even your psychology.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
did they do a screen test? How did they go about this?
So yeah, you do the screen test, and that's basically they come to your house and film you in your house and see how you look on camera. And then they made us fill out an anonymous, so-called anonymous questionnaire. And it's like, do you believe in such? Do you believe in 9/11 was an inside job? Do you believe Bush was involved? Do you believe in certain questions about 9/11 and conspiracy theories in general? And yeah, and then you get a call from the psychologist Raj Persaud, who wants to have a word with you. He's a
So we get a wait a minute, we got a psychologist calling you up?
Yeah.
Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Oh, that's the big one.
He's quite famous over here. He's a celebrity psychologist, but he was he got in
Sort of
trouble.
like Dr. Phil over here or something?
Yeah, exactly. But he got struck off for plagiarism at some point, so he's not that well liked. And he basically has a chat with you, and he's asking questions about the questionnaire. And there's a question on it that says, do you think that 9/11 was an inside job? And I said, no. And they're like, so what do you think? And I said, technically, I think it was a stand-down operation. So I don't know if, it's not really the same thing.
You know what? I tend to agree with you myself. I think it's a globalist job. I think, however, my feeling is that whether or not it was done inside or outside of the U.S., it had insiders, it had outsiders, and it was globalist ultimately, because that's what it's done. It's allowed the global elite to come in and take over.
Yeah,
here in America, you're in Britain, but you probably got to see our airports and how you get felt up and screened through, and it's horrible over here.
It is, yeah, it's the same. It's the same here.
And that's a globalist thing. And we're seeing cops that all look the same. You go to Canada, you come here, you go to Britain, you're going to see these black suited riot cop stuff. The only difference may be a couple of patches, but overall, I expect to see the rainbow patch appear very soon. Maybe Agenda 21, big A with a 2-1 on it, and they come in and they just, I don't know if you're familiar with Agenda 21, UN control, all of that stuff. I often recommend to people on my show that they check out a book called None Dare Call It Conspiracy, which is by a guy by the name of Gary Allen. See, to me, the big conspiracy isn't 9/11. The big conspiracies existed since, a long time before it. So when you say, 9/11 was what did you call it?
A stand-down operation.
Right, a stand-down operation. It was allowed then, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying it was allowed. By allowing it, this is my belief, in a sense, that by allowing it, even if it had nothing to do with thermite or actually taking it down or anything, I mean, even if it wasn't to people they say. It doesn't matter in my theory, which is they stood down, which allowed this to happen so that they could use it to do exactly what they've done, which is to control each and every one of us in fear and by creating more fear. Realize the terror of 9/11.
Not to mention the illegal wars as well.
Yeah, exactly. It justified illegal wars. It justified certain political opinion, which is always the case. It gave more power to, like, the UN. That's what we're seeing take control. That's what these police outfits are, in a sense. They're UN outfits, in my opinion. Again, I don't know if you share this with me. I'm not telling you to.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
We have to share insights and give perceptions, but not frame things like what the show did. This is what I'm most offended with, is what you went through was a frame job to try and frame it all up, not to frame you, but to frame it all up, so that every movement, every time period, every activity was framed by them to take you through a process of brainwashing, a mind control process.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, here's what it says. Mind control, also known as brainwashing, coercive persuasion, mind abuse, thought control, or thought reform, refers to the process in which a group or individual systematically uses unethically manipulative methods to persuade others to conform to the wishes of the manipulators, often to the detriment of the person being manipulated. So my feeling is, here's a guy from the
That sounds
inside.
like Charlie Beach, doesn't it?
Wait a minute, I thought you were pretty balanced on him. We try not to slam him too hard around here. See, my feeling has been that Charlie was just easily manipulated. Now, whether or not he was, really, some people want to call him a PSYOPs officer, or that he was in on it all along. And I mean, I don't know. I think he's a confused individual just based on everything I see. I wouldn't follow him. I don't follow people anyway. I follow principles.
That's
I hope you'll follow me in that. That's an important thing, I think, is that we follow principles. It's ideas, concepts, like what freedom, justice, love, compassion, tolerance. These are things that we can all agree on that we should be following. These are our ethics. Now, morals are things that society puts on us. We don't walk around naked in public. Well, in some publics they do. That's just a moral judgment. You know what I'm saying? It's a moral thing, and we can't judge each other by those things. So we have to, if we're going to judge each other fairly, it's only by ethics, on which I believe we can judge each other. And I think that what I see, sadly, from Charlie Veitch is that he throws ethics to the wind sometimes. Yeah. He abuses people in public. He downs or disses people who, maybe they need to be woke up, but this ain't the way to do it, you know?
No.
We do need to wake people up, but we need to do it with logic and reason, and above all, we need love. I mean, I hope you'll agree with me in our society.
Yeah, I do, 100%.
You know, love is so hard to find. I say be love to people all the time, and it really means something to me, because the only reason I'm here, the only reason I do what I do and say what I say to however big an audience or whatever, I don't even care. I just do it for therapy personally because it's cheaper, and because I feel the need to try and bring wisdom in some way. And wisdom to me is supreme. Wisdom will always kick your ass.
Yeah.
Wisdom is something that you can't really, define for other people, but as it comes, you start to absorb it. I mean, younger people now are getting it earlier, I think, and the ability to have it earlier. It used to be just age-brought wisdom.
Mm.
But I'm pleased. That's what I like about the Resistance Radio guys here and everything, is that they seem to be a group of guys who just, they're common people with uncommon purpose. And they do it because they care. Like you, I think you stepped out, in love for people, saying, I'm going to come into this and try and be a good representative. That's what I get from you. I read people, if you will, in a nice way.
Yeah, that's what it was all about,
correct.
Yeah.
I'm a skeptic of everything, by the way. I say question everything, so there's nothing wrong with that. Questioning, all truth will stand up from questioning.
Yeah.
Truth really wants to be questioned, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, we should be questioning everything we see. Otherwise, we can get brainwashed. And let me start throwing some of the elements, and then we're going to get back to some of your experiences. Here's some of the things that brainwashing techniques or cult indoctrinations use. They use breaking sessions. This is when pressure is put on the person until they crack. They use changing values to change what's right and wrong. They use confession to leave behind that undesirable past, those bad ideas. To entrancement, to open the mind and limit rational reflection. So in other words, not a lot of time for thinking through things. Just here, agree to this. Engagement that draws a person in. Exhaustion, so they are less able to resist persuasion. Guilt about the past, so that they can leave it behind. Higher purpose, associate that desirability with the higher knowledge, the reason, the science. Identity destruction is to make space for a new identity. In other words, how you used to think, they want to change that. They want to reform it and reform you through it. I think Charlie Veitch is a good example of somebody who went through this reforming process. He is. I think he's off balance right now. I think he should get out of the public eye right at the moment and think through what he's doing, because he's making a fool of himself.
Yeah.
But that's, I think I care about the man as a person.
Yeah.
I'm sad to see so many people hitting on him and hurting him for changing his mind. A person has a right to change their mind. They may be wrong.
But is that why they're going at him? Because he changed his mind, or is it the way he did it, or his intentions behind it? I mean,
well, now he's got to show us what he means by it, because if he really changes his mind, then it's going to change his direction, and then he's not going to play the same game the same way. You can't he's turning his megaphone into a shut up tool now. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Shut up. Oh, you're just going with the system. Shut up. He's confused as to what he believes, because 9/11 has been thrown off in his mind.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I can't speak for the man. I've never liked what I saw in him. I don't follow Charlie Veitch. I've known more about him since this whole thing came down than I did, prior to this happening. I knew he did the love policing. I'd seen his I was turned off with the Luciferian People's Army thing. The minute he did that, man, I was, this guy scared the crap out of me. Anybody who can think like that and have that much knowledge of the occult, and I've studied it,
it's no joke. I mean, he's making light of that stuff, I guess. So I guess it's not too bad, He's not too bad.
I leave it up to the individual to decide, but, go look and make a choice. But it's like, you know what, still love Charlie, because we're supposed to love even our enemies. If you're people you hate, stop judging by skin color, religion, all of these things that divide right now, because that's exactly what these people are trying to do, divide and conquer. That's what order out of chaos is. Build the chaos, create the chaos. This is just another part of the chaos, folks, just a little bit. Created certainly chaos in the truther community.
And the thing that they're most scared of is united front, united public, and educated public. They're well scared of that. So, you know, if people unite and people are good to each other and show love, we stand a better chance.
Absolutely. And peace, and using peace is very important. I can't emphasize that the power that we see in people like Gandhi and people like Abraham Lincoln and people who, you know, all these people who everybody sort of mutually agrees are good people. They were people who stepped outside and said, you know what, enough fighting, enough. We have to be rational and make the right decisions right now, and they do it, and they get the people behind them because the people see the logic, the people see the wisdom. When we follow wisdom, we cannot go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I really enjoyed this last few minutes with you, speaking with you on all of this stuff, and I want to take some more questions. Let's see if anybody's got any questions in the chat room. I'd be more than happy to read them out over the air, and I'll wait because, see, there's a little time delay. It takes a while for the signal to get from here to there to go through the CIA screening, you know.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out, how do I get on the no-fly list? I'm really trying. Then I have an excuse not to fly. So, you know.
Grow a beard, it might help.
Oh, I'm sure I'm probably on some watch list somewhere, just because I speak, you know, freely. And I believe that if we can't speak freely, we're not free, and this nation's about being free to express your opinions.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if anybody here has any questions. Be sure to put a question mark or address it. Somebody's saying hi to the CIA. That's nice. And in fact, anyone in the room that's from the CIA, greetings. FBI also, President's Council on Better Fitness, I don't care, whatever. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, you know what I got today? Here's something on the side, the craziest side. I signed the President's birthday card at one time, and then somehow I got on his list of supporters. Because now I got a letter that says it basically said in the letter, hey, it said Barack Obama. From Barack Obama said, sometime soon, can we meet for dinner? So of course, you know, I'm figuring, hey, this would be cool. I could do that. But now I got to go donate. It asks for a donation of $5 to be automatically entered for the chance for me to join him for dinner. So I don't know. I don't got $5. Anybody want to put in $5 so I can go to dinner with the president? I'd be more than happy to take that money from you. Anyway. I'm not getting many questions from that. What are some of the stuff that that you can remember that really stood out in your mind as being things that were unfair about the program, things that you would like to correct?
You know, the whole thing was unfair from the start. You know, we knew that, but I think, what would I change? All they had to do was document what actually happened out there. I mean, if they showed us a question in the Xbox, because we grilled the experts, we really did grill them. And they
how did you know these were the experts at the time? How did you? Just because you were told, right? You were just throwing out there.
Just because we were told, yeah. But we still questioned them. I mean, Building 7 we talked about Building 7 a lot, and there was a lot of things that we talked about that were not mentioned in the documentary because, you know, I think the government's scared. You know, they don't want people questioning it because, you know, everyone's going to get to the truth at some point. You know.
And then they also gave rationale on the show for the invisible planes. I mean, the disappearing planes. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, no one was really arguing that point. I mean, they told me to argue. You've got two topics to cover. One was nanothermite. The other was Mossad. And we got into Mossad, and we met someone called Mark Perelman, who's a journalist for a Jewish newspaper. And there was so much doubt on me at the time. And then Mark Perelman revealed that 2 of the 5 dancing Israelis were actually Mossad. And there was this big aha moment. And even the crew were taken back by that.